A new arrival. Zara stepped out of the sleek, silver transport pod, her eyes widening as she took in the sprawling campus of the Galactic Academy. The air buzzed with a cacophony of alien languages, and strange, exotic scents wafted on the breeze. Students of every shape, size, and hue milled about, some glancing curiously in her direction. "Is that a human?" A spindly, insectoid creature whispered to its companion, its antennae quivering. "I heard they're from a deathworld," the other replied, eyeing Zara warily. "I can't believe the Academy is letting one of them enroll." Zara simply smiled, shouldering her bag and striding confidently towards the main hall. She was used to the whispers and stares, the nervous chatter that followed her wherever she went. As the first human student to be accepted into the prestigious institution, she knew she had a lot to prove. Inside the hall, a holo display flickered to life, projecting the shimmering image of the Academy's headmaster. "Welcome, students," the figure intoned, its voice a melodic trill. "You have been selected from the brightest minds across the galaxy. Here, you will embark on a journey of knowledge and discovery, pushing the boundaries of what is possible." Zara listened intently, her heart racing with excitement. She had dreamed of this moment for years, ever since she first learned of the Academy's existence. Now, surrounded by beings from worlds she had never even heard of, she felt a thrill of anticipation. As the headmaster's speech concluded, Zara made her way to her first class, ignoring the hushed conversations that sprang up in her wake. She knew that her very presence was a source of fascination and fear for many of her new classmates, but she refused to let it faze her. She was here to learn, to grow, and to show the galaxy what humanity was capable of. Settling into a seat at the back of the lecture hall, Zara watched as the professor, a spindly, six-armed creature with luminous eyes, took center stage. "Greetings, young minds," it began, its voice a haunting whisper. "I am Professor Xylox, and welcome to Advanced Xenoengineering." As the professor launched into an overview of the course, Zara leaned forward, her eyes sparkling with interest. This was exactly where she belonged, surrounded by the most brilliant minds from across the stars. She couldn't wait to see what challenges lay ahead. The impossible assignment. Professor Xylox surveyed the lecture hall, his luminous eyes sweeping over the sea of alien faces. "Your first assignment," he intoned, "will be a test of your skills, your creativity, and your resilience." A hush fell over the room as a holographic display flickered to life, revealing a planet bathed in swirling, noxious clouds. "This is Zorgax," Xylox explained, "a world with an atmosphere so corrosive it can strip the flesh from your bones in seconds. Your task is to design and build a vessel capable of traversing this deadly environment." Gasps and murmurs of disbelief rippled through the hall. "Is he serious?" A gelatinous, blob-like student quivered. "That's impossible." Zara, however, leaned forward, her eyes narrowing as she studied the display. The planet's atmosphere swirled with vibrant hues of green and purple, hinting at the cocktail of toxic gases that comprised it. The surface was a roiling mass of jagged rock formations and bubbling, acidic pools. "You have 1 week," Xylox continued, his voice cutting through the chatter. "You will work in teams of 4, and at the end of the allotted time, your vessels will be put to the test in a simulated Zorgax environment." As the professor dismissed the class, the hall erupted into a frenzy of activity. Students clustered together, frantically discussing potential designs and materials, their voices tinged with desperation. Zara, however, remained calm, her mind already racing with ideas. She had grown up hearing stories of the ingenious machines humans had built to explore the harshest environments on Earth, submarines that could withstand the crushing pressures of the deep ocean, rovers that could traverse the scorching deserts of Mars. She knew that the key to success lay in understanding the unique challenges posed by Zorgax's atmosphere and finding ways to counteract them. As she watched her classmates argue and gesticulate wildly, she smiled to herself, confident that she was up to the task. Amidst the chaos, a trio of alien students caught Zara's eye, a spindly, insectoid creature, a shimmering, crystalline being, and a pulsating mass of tentacles. They seemed to be deep in conversation, their expressions a mix of fear and determination. Squaring her shoulders, Zora approached the group, her voice calm and self-assured. "Mind if I join you?" she asked, meeting their startled gazes evenly. "I have some ideas that might just get us through this." The aliens exchanged nervous glances, clearly unsure what to make of the strange, soft-skinned creature before them. But as they listened to Zora's proposals, their skepticism slowly gave way to grudging interest. Maybe, just maybe, this human knew what she was talking about. As the team began to take shape, Zora felt a thrill of excitement. This was her chance to prove herself, to show her classmates what she was truly capable of. And with a challenge this daunting, she knew she would need every ounce of human ingenuity and determination to succeed. Uneasy alliances. The newly formed team gathered in a secluded corner of the Academy's vast library, a holographic display of planet Zorgax hovering before them. Zara stood at the center, her eyes alight with determination, as she addressed her alien teammates. "Okay, let's break this down," she began, gesturing towards the display. "The biggest challenges we're facing are the corrosive atmosphere and the extreme temperature fluctuations. We need a material that can withstand both." The insectoid, whose name was Zixus, chittered nervously. "I've never heard of anything like that," it said, its antennae drooping. "The best we have is adamantium alloy, and even that would corrode within minutes." Zara nodded, unfazed. "On Earth, we have something called graphene," she explained. "It's a single layer of carbon atoms, arranged in a hexagonal lattice. It's the strongest material we've ever discovered, and it's highly resistant to chemical corrosion." The crystalline being, Chrysix, tilted its head, intrigued. "I've read about graphene," it mused, its voice a tinkling melody. "But it's notoriously difficult to produce in large quantities." "True," Zora conceded, "but I think I have a solution. If we can synthesize a graphene adamantium composite, we should be able to create a hull strong enough to withstand Zorgax's atmosphere." The tentacled creature, whose name was Thalzor, rippled with surprise. "That's actually a brilliant idea," it admitted, its voice a deep, resonant hum. "But how do we shape it? The hull will need to be airtight, and the designs will be complex." Zara grinned, pulling up a new schematic on the display. "Leave that to me," she said, her fingers flying over the controls. "I've been working on a new 3D printing technique that should allow us to create the hull in a single, seamless piece." As the team watched, a detailed model of the vessel began to take shape on the screen, its sleek aerodynamic curves gleaming in the light. Zixus let out a low whistle of appreciation, its compound eyes widening. "I have to admit," it said, "I had my doubts about working with a human. But this might actually work." Zara felt a surge of pride at the grudging respect in her teammate's voice. She knew that she still had a long way to go to earn their full trust. But this was a start. Over the next few days, the team worked tirelessly, refining their designs and running countless simulations. They argued and debated, each bringing their own unique perspectives and expertise to the table. Slowly but surely, a sense of camaraderie began to develop. Zara found herself learning about her teammates' cultures and histories, marveling at the incredible diversity of life that existed beyond Earth. In turn, she shared stories of her own world, of the great cities that sprawled across its surface, of the mighty oceans that teemed with life, of the vast deserts and soaring mountains that had shaped her people's character. As they worked, Zora couldn't help but feel a sense of excitement building within her. This was more than just an assignment. It was a chance to forge new bonds, to break down the barriers that separated their species. And as the final pieces of their vessel began to take shape, glimmering with the promise of something truly extraordinary, she knew that they were on the cusp of achieving something great. Building the prototype. The Academy's engineering lab was a hive of activity, filled with the hum of machinery and the chatter of students as they raced to complete their prototypes. In one corner, Zara and her team worked feverishly, their faces etched with concentration. The hull of their vessel gleamed under the bright lights, a marvel of intricate curves and seamless construction. Zara stood on a platform, a pair of protective goggles perched on her nose as she directed a stream of molten composite into place. Below, Zixis and Chrysix were hunched over a tangle of wires and circuitry, their deft appendages working in perfect synchronicity. Falzor hovered nearby, its tentacles manipulating a series of holographic displays as it ran final diagnostic checks. Suddenly, a commotion erupted from across the lab. Zora looked up to see a group of students huddled around a smoldering pile of twisted metal, their faces ashen with shock. "What happened?" she called out, hurrying over to investigate. #HFY, #Sci-Fi Story, #Alien Students, #Deathworlder, #Human Resilience, #Sleep Patterns, #Alien Discovery, #Galactic Panic, #Human Adaptability, #Short Sci-Fi, #Sci-Fi Tales, #Humans Alien, #Space Story, #Survival Sci-Fi, #Humanity FYA, #Alien Perspective, #Space Exploration, #Galactic Lore, #Intergalactic Chaos, #Sci-Fi Adventure. The trial run. The day of the trial run dawned bright and clear, the Academy's testing grounds a hive of nervous energy. Teams of students gathered around their crafts, making last-minute adjustments and running final system checks. Zara and her team stood beside their vessel, a sleek, shimmering creation that seemed to pulse with an inner light. They had christened it the Zephyr, a name that evoked the swift, agile winds of Earth. As Professor Xylox called the teams forward one by one, Zara felt a knot of tension tighten in her stomach. She watched as craft after craft entered the simulation chamber, only to emerge moments later, battered and broken. Some had barely made it off the ground before the corrosive atmosphere had eaten through their hulls, sending them crashing back to Earth in a shower of sparks and debris. Others had managed to limp through the swirling, toxic clouds for a few minutes, only to succumb to the extreme temperature fluctuations and crushing pressure. As the Zephyr's turn approached, Zora could feel the weight of her teammates' expectations bearing down on her. They had worked so hard, put so much of themselves into this project. She couldn't bear the thought of letting them down. But as she stepped forward to take her place at the helm, she felt a sudden surge of calm wash over her. This was what she had trained for, what she had dreamed of for so long. And with her team by her side, she knew that they could achieve anything. The simulation chamber doors hissed open, and the Zephyr glided forward, its engines humming with power. As they entered the swirling, noxious atmosphere of planet Zorgax, Zara felt a thrill of exhilaration run through her. The Zephyr cut through the clouds like a knife, its graphene adamantium hull shimmering with an otherworldly glow. The toxins that had eaten through the other crafts like acid seemed to simply slide off its surface, leaving no trace. Inside the cockpit, Zara and her team worked in perfect harmony, their movements fluid and precise. Zixis monitored the atmospheric readings, making minute adjustments to the life support systems as needed. Chrysix navigated the treacherous terrain, guiding the Zephyr through narrow canyons and over bubbling, acidic pools with ease. Falzor kept a watchful eye on the propulsion systems, ready to make split-second adjustments at the first sign of trouble. And Zara, she was in her element, her hands dancing over the controls with a surety and grace that left her teammates in awe. It was as if she had been born to fly, born to push the boundaries of what was possible. For a glorious, heart-stopping 15 minutes, the Zephyr soared through the deadly skies of Zorgax, a shining beacon of hope and ingenuity. And when they finally emerged from the simulation chamber, the craft unmarked and its crew unscathed, the gathered students and faculty erupted into cheers and applause. Professor Xylox approached the team, his luminous eyes wide with wonder. "In all my years of teaching," he said, his voice trembling with emotion, I have never seen anything like that. You have done the impossible, and in doing so, you have proven that there is so much more to the universe than we ever dared to imagine." As Zara and her team basked in the glow of their triumph, they knew that this was only the beginning. They had shown the galaxy what they were capable of, what could be achieved when different species worked together in harmony. And as they looked out at the sea of alien faces, each one shining with a newfound respect and admiration, they knew that they had started something truly remarkable. A new era of cooperation and discovery, a future where anything was possible. Part 6. Revelations and New Horizons. In the days following the trial run, Zara and her team found themselves the talk of the Academy. Students and faculty alike clamored to learn more about the remarkable vessel they had created, to understand the secrets of its success. Professor Xylox invited the team to present their findings to the entire school, an honor reserved for only the most groundbreaking achievements. As Zara took the stage, her alien teammates by her side, she felt a swell of pride and gratitude for all they had accomplished together. "When we first set out on this journey," she began, her voice clear and steady, "we were strangers, divided by the vast gulfs of space and culture that separated our worlds. But as we worked together, as we faced challenges and setbacks and triumphs, we discovered something incredible, that our differences were not weaknesses, but strengths." She turned to her teammates, her eyes shining with emotion. "Zixis, your keen eye for detail and your tireless dedication to perfection pushed us to create a vessel that was as beautiful as it was functional. Crisix, your brilliant mind and your ability to see patterns and connections where others saw only chaos helped us navigate even the most treacherous terrain. And Thalzor, your steady hand and your unwavering commitment to the team kept us focused and united, even in the darkest moments." As she spoke, Zora could see the faces of her classmates and professors, rapt with attention and glowing with admiration. And in that moment, she knew that they had achieved something far greater than just a successful engineering project. They had shown the galaxy that cooperation and collaboration were not just possible, but essential. That by working together, by embracing their differences, and learning from one another, they could achieve wonders that no single species could ever hope to accomplish alone. In the weeks and months that followed, Zara watched as the lessons of their success began to ripple outward, like the waves of a stone cast into a still pond. More and more teams began to form, comprised of students from all corners of the galaxy, each one eager to learn from and build upon the example set by the Zephyr's crew. And as she walked the halls of the Academy, Zara found herself surrounded by a new kind of energy, a sense of excitement and possibility that was infectious. Everywhere she looked, she saw students of all shapes and sizes and colors working together, laughing together, dreaming together. It was a beautiful thing to behold, a testament to the power of unity and the indomitable spirit of sentient life. And as she looked out at the stars, at the vast, infinite expanse of the universe that awaited them, Zara knew that this was only the beginning. There would be new challenges to face, new frontiers to explore, new wonders to discover. But armed with the knowledge and the friendships they had forged, she knew that there was nothing they could not achieve. And so, as she stepped out into the unknown, ready to embark on a new adventure with her team by her side, Zara felt a sense of hope and purpose that she had never known before. The future was bright, and it belonged to all of them, together.